Alright legends, welcome back to the HamSlice channel. Strap in, because today we continue to dive into the absolute fever dream that is Task Force 141's story. In today's video, we commit some questionable gun choices, stop the launch of a nuclear missile, craft explosives from household objects, get shot by a jerry-rigged shotgun trap, perform a not-so-eloquent prison break, contract photophobia, and throw C4 at a tank. After listing this out, I am really praying this video doesn't get age restricted, but you know, anything for you guys. Enjoy. El Sin Hombre kicks off with Alejandro dragging us into Los Alamos, because nothing says holiday like a little bit of light torture. The mission is simple in theory. Sneak into a cartel mansion, infiltrate from inside, and identify the faceless boss. Easy. Except, absolutely none of that sounds like something Soap should be doing. To be fair, just send me in with a sniper and a dream, and I'll be hitting prime phase 360 no-scopes on the occupants. Instead, I volunteer to go undercover, which is wild behaviour from a man who's being controlled by someone who doesn't even have the patience to read the mission briefing. Alejandro looks at him like, "You're doing what now?" But it's too late. Soap's already practicing fake names in the mirror. We decided to go with Soap, because surely no one is actually stupid enough to be called that in real life. You get marched into the mansion, surrounded by guards who look like they warm up by bench pressing civilians. The entire vibe is, blink wrong and they'll recycle your organs. The interior is insane. Chandeliers, marble floors, expensive furniture that I immediately wanted to hide behind. I'm being followed by a guy who keeps shoving me in the back, and it's nowhere near as fun as it sounds. I rate this man's self-control very highly. He must have had great parents and a stable childhood. Me, growing up, I'd lose it on my brother, turn off the console, and go vent my frustrations on GTA like a normal person. Those NPCs never knew what they signed up for when I was in control. Anyway, I've annoyed this guy enough, and he probably doesn't want my life story. So I'm sat down, and then she arrives. Valeria, Alejandro's ex-friend turned cartel boss, and the human embodiment of, I know what you did, and I'm judging you for it. She sits Soap down like he's applying for the world's worst job interview. She starts grilling him. Who do you work for? What are you doing here? Why are you still not subscribed to the HamSliceGaming channel? All fair questions. So I answer honestly, because apparently honesty is best policy when you're captured by a cartel. I throw Graves under a bus, because there's no way that actually comes back to haunt me later. Soap answers as calmly as he can, and I'm answering confidently too. But inside, I'm panicking, because I'm not even 100% sure of the law. I regularly zone out and forget to follow the story. In my defense, it is very hard to play video games and listen at the same time. Multitasking is not my strongest suit. Every dialogue choice feels like I'm choosing between die instantly or die later but confused. Alejandro's watching from the side, trying very hard not to scream, "Please stop talking." Ghost is nowhere to be seen because he's smart enough to stay outside. Somehow, and I cannot explain this, Soap passes the interrogation. Valeria softens slightly, lowers her weapon, and then shoots the guy right in front of me. I can't help but think that that may have been my fault, but my therapist told me not to dwell on the little things, so we move on. I get to enjoy the party, but we're not here to order martinis. We're here to find El Sin Hombre, or murder everyone at the party. Bit of a blurred line there. I find myself with a sniper, and suddenly the blur gets a little more perforated. I kill my way from the kitchen to the garage to the second floor, and end up on the roof. Then the story drops it. Valeria is El Sin Hombre, the faceless cartel boss we've been hunting is literally right there, sipping expensive liquor like she didn't have anxiety-induced IBS. We catch her, Alejandro cuffs her, and Soap somehow survives. No cover blown, no immediate death, no missing limbs, a miracle. and I still have the sniper rifle. Graves shows up just to smirk and take credit, like the one kid in the group project who contributed absolutely nothing. I will never forget about you, Alex. Mission complete, respect earned, and I'm still not convinced Soap shouldn't have just passed out mid-interrogation.
Oh, give me. Oh, yeah, boy. Shit.
Dark Water starts with the team tackling a missile on an oil rig in the Gulf. The weather is actively trying to kill us, waves are smashing the rig like it owes them money. We board under the cover of night, which is a generous term considering that the lighting is so intense that it's basically daylight. We still decide to put on night vision goggles because, let's be honest, half the military operations in games are done purely just because they look cool. Ghost and Gaz make it up the rig like professional killers, and I'm just sprinting to be the first one to the top because I called last one's a rotten egg. And I refuse to be a rotten egg. Cartel soldiers are dug in across the decks, hiding behind shipping containers like they're playing prop hunt. Price gives the classic instructions: clear the rig, find the controls, and stop the launch. Simple, straightforward, and a complete lie. The firefighter's brutal. I peek a corner, get blinded by a flashlight, panic, shoot a barrel, and almost blow myself up. A ladder almost kills me, a railing almost kills me, my foot almost kills me, an enemy with an actual gun also almost kills me. Is there anything on this rig that doesn't want me dead? We push through the lower decks, enemies everywhere, alarms screaming, water spraying. The whole rig feels like it's doing a speedrun of how fast can we ruin HamSlice's mental health? The answer is pretty quickly. Inside the control room, the missile is armed, with a countdown ticking, and Graves is yelling button instructions while I'm trying to remember whether a row is across or down. Somehow, I mash my way into the override with literal seconds to spare. Missile launch aborted, blood pressure slightly decreased. We exfil under fire, Ghost covers us the whole way, probably shaking his head behind the mask. We win, barely. Graves takes the credit again, and tension rises in the squad. This is where you start to realize something is off with the Shadow Company.
Look at that big shit, Steven, bloody Jesus. Alejandro,
Alone drops you right after Graves and Shadow Company stab us in the back. No one is shocked by this. Their name is literally Shadow Company. There was always going to be some issues. The game shows this betrayal in an incredibly cool way. The subtitles change from green to red. Not sure why nobody just decided to look down earlier, but sure, cinematic flair and all that. Soap gets shot in the shoulder and gracefully slides through gunfire, only to be separated from the team and left stranded in Los Alamos with no weapons, no squad, and the entire city hunting him down. Ghost is on the comms, trying to keep you sane, but it feels like every corner has someone waiting to drop you. The inner MacGyver comes out of Soap as he starts crafting bombs, pry tools, and traps from household junk. Luckily, we're on the good side because if we joined Hassan with this level of resourcefulness, world domination would be a weekend project. This is pure survival mode. Soap scavenges everything he can find: tape, bottles, blades, chemicals, all to craft improvised weapons. You sneak through dark alleys, evading patrols, trying not to crunch broken glass while enemies sweep with flashlights and what I can only describe as 21,000 vision. I'll be honest, I got caught more than once, but to be fair, for a game that came out in 2022, it's buggy as hell. There's this weird glitch that kept happening where enemies would just open their eyes and see me. Completely immersion breaking. Ghost sighs in my ear every time. He's not even mad anymore, he's just disappointed. I'm clearly not living up to his name. And in between helping, he decides to mock my English heritage.
English.
It's raining fucking hard.
Then say so.
I did.
Despite the fact that I'm Australian, we are simply work colleagues at this point. The tension builds as you creep from house to house, piecing together gear. Ghost keeps guiding you, giving you directions and encouragement that sounds half like orders and half like actual friendship. The Soap Ghost bond really shines here. It's not just comms chatter, it's banter under pressure, which is great because I'm bleeding out of my shoulder and could use the distraction. I find myself stumbling into a house with a casual shotgun trap setup. Certainly not what I expected, but I mean, having it is quite a useful tool. I would have preferred to not aim it at my home door, but I guess I don't know the greatest amount about interior designing. Luckily, a stim magically fixes that bullet wound. We are all way too comfortable stabbing ourselves with random needles we find in boxes. Good thing this isn't called Call of Duty Chemical Warfare 2, or I'm not sure we'd survive the tutorial. Eventually, we fight our way through waves of Shadow Company soldiers. By then, Soap has cobbled together enough gear to be the one-man Home Alone sequel. Ghost helps get you out in a brutal escape sequence. By the end, you're battered, exhausted, but alive. Soap and Ghost come out of this officially upgraded from squad mates to brothers forged in betrayal, blood, and possibly viral diseases. Prison Break starts with us planning a daring assault on the Los Alamos maximum security prison. Alejandro's been captured by Shadow Company, and we are absolutely not leaving him behind. I had no decision in the matter, as you could tell. I'm really not as reliable as people think I am. Just have a look at my upload schedule. The approach is tense, night operation, heavily fortified prison. Shadow Company soldiers swarming like they're getting paid in extra screen time. We breach the perimeter quietly, for about 4 seconds, as I forgot how countdowns work, and everyone is alerted, and stealth packs its bags and leaves, all because we count in the shot. Floodlights flare, guards pour out of the towers, and suddenly it's a full-on war zone inside the prison walls. After a tactical reset, I try again, and somehow accomplish the daring feat. Then I proceed to get a long, drawn-out CCTV camera section where I have to guide Ghost to plant some explosives. Like, I thought Ghost was meant to be practically invisible, but in this section, he places blind faith in me, which I would not recommend to anyone, as he does pay the price. To be fair, some of the routing he takes is quite questionable. Like, maybe you should not walk right in front of a patrolling guard to kill someone behind them. After a grueling section of go there now, which is possibly the worst instruction I've ever heard. Like, where is the bearing, distance, and damn, even the GPS location to where he's going. We finally prevail, semi-victorious, and then break into the prison section of the base to let Alejandro out, who immediately decides to attack us. I mean, we've just opened the door for you. Seems quite confrontational for a housewarming party. He finally thinks for a second, why would someone just open the door, and realizes his mistake, and then doesn't even say my bad. Like, bro, I just risked my life to save you and you nearly killed me. I'm expecting a great Christmas present. Fighting through the cell blocks, rallying his vaqueros, with that very specific flavor of rage you only get when you're betrayed and imprisoned by a private military contractor group by the name of Shadow Company. They throw everything they've got at us, armored guards, heavy fire, riot shields, the works. One moment stands out. I get a 50 cal sniper rifle and the world becomes my oyster. Which is a bad analogy, as I'm actually allergic to crustaceans. Luckily though, I'm not allergic to the cold hard steel of a rifle that shoots 50 BMG rounds, cause I love that sound. By the end, we break Alejandro out, the prison is wrecked, Shadow Company is limping, and Alejandro is back where he belongs, with his men. The mission ends with him swearing vengeance against Graves. It's not just about Hassan's missiles anymore. This is fucking personal now. Price gathers the team, and it's finally time to sit down and figure out what the hell just happened. We've got Hassan still on the run, missiles still unaccounted for, Shadow Company betraying us, and Shepard pulling the strings like he's auditioning for the most corrupt general of the year. Price lays it out. Shepard and Graves knew about Hassan the whole time. They armed him, they covered it up, and when we get close to the truth, they tried to erase us. That was the most expected thing, but mainly because, you know, I did play the first iteration of this game, which had a little bit more gruesome moment. I guess you could say this game is a little plain. It could do with some elevating.
Kill everything that moves!
Ghost team starts with Alejandro fired up to take his base back. Task Force 141 is with him, Ghost is locked in, Soap is geared up, and the Vaqueros are ready for payback. The target, Graves, hiding inside the Los Alamos compound with Shadow Company crawling over every rooftop and corridor. I don't even make it 5 steps before I develop an aggressive case of photophobia. My screen is glowing like I've stared directly into a solar eclipse. I've basically been permanently flashbanged by the HDR settings. It's official, I'll be spending the rest of this mission fighting the enemy and the brightness slider. The assault kicks off outside the perimeter, gunfire rips through the air, drones buzz overhead, and we're pushing hard to breach the gates. It's pure chaos, explosions, shouting, and me trying not to team kill in the smoke. It would be a great mission if I could see, but I'm busy looking around, trying to find a little relief from the ridiculous amount of glare. Alejandro's men blow a hole in the wall, and suddenly we're inside, clearing room to room against the best armed rent-a-cops on the planet. These guys have nothing on Paul Blart. Shadow Company thinks they have the advantage, but joke's on them. I can't see anything anyway. At this point, I'm just firing towards the holy glow and hoping some bullets land right on people. It works, which is quite embarrassing for them and quite impressive for me, I think. I'm not too sure, as if anything, I might be more effective like this. You know, like when people say when you lose one sense, all the others get better. Anyway, Price and Gaz work another angle, planting explosives and hitting the compound's weak points. The radio chatter feels like a live sports broadcast. Team A planting explosives, Team B nearly blind, Team C emotionally unstable and blind. We breach the hangars, clear barracks, and push into the tank yard, where Graves is not hiding in an office like a sane villain. No, he's driving a tank around the base because it's only natural progression for a villain, but unfortunately for him, where he is driving, there is a bunch of C4 in conveniently placed orange containers. Not sure whose idea this was, but they definitely deserve a raise. I dodge cannon fire, sprint between cover, and start planting C4 on the tank. Graves is taunting over the loudspeaker the whole time, like he's hosting a late night talk show. Call him James Corden, because he went up in a burst of flames. The last blast cooks the tank, and Graves with it. The explosion lights up the base. Not that I'd know, since I'm spiritually blinded from that lighting bug. And then it's done. Graves is gone. Shadow Company shattered. Alejandro has his base back. Ghost and Soap walk out alive. And the Vaqueros stand tall. The betrayal's been avenged. But then I realised there's currently still a nuclear missile out there, which probably should have taken precedence over this little disagreement and bullet to the shoulder. Countdown opens with an intel drop. Hassan has smuggled one of the stolen American missiles into Chicago, and he's planning to fire it straight at Washington. No more cartel missions, no more desert compounds. This is the endgame. Task Force 141 hit the ground running. The city's locked down, skyscrapers glowing, alarms echoing through the streets. Soap and Ghost parachute onto a high-rise, while Price and Gaz attack from another angle. Hassan's men are guarding Hassan's launch site, like they're protecting the remnants of Hawk Tuacoin. We breach floor by floor, cutting through glass offices and fighting across rooftops while the missile timer ticks down. Every second counts. So I tactically take a toilet break, as gaming for 2 hours without a piss break is probably the worst thing that could possibly happen to someone. The visuals are brutal, but I can overcome anything after the permanent blindness I had been cured from. Hassan's men have rifles, and I now officially have sight. As Soap, you push through the skyscraper, clearing hostiles, while Ghost feeds you directions. I catch up to Hassan, and then, after a minute of running around, away from people in an open plan office, I then have someone shouting override codes under fire. The radio's a mess of alarms, orders, and me still trying to remember what a row and what a column is. You'd think I would retain the important information. After successfully disarming the bomb, I have to kill all the enemies by finding a box cutter and making some traps, which is like becoming one of my favorite pastimes. I really hope this isn't going to be used against me later in life, as I'm clearly joking. Anyway, To end the scene, Soap and Hassan get into a little fight, and I then have to end the game with a swift shot to the head with Ghost. I then throw caution to the wind as I decide to no-scope him from the other building, which goes about as you'd expect. One shot, Hassan drops, threat eliminated. Washington is safe, Hassan is dead, and the mission is done. The team regroups, battered, bruised, but alive. The fight isn't over, it's just shifting to the next chapter. For now, the world is safe. So there you have it. The world is saved, but at what cost? The cost was Captain Price's sanity, Ghost's patience, and frankly, an irresponsible amount of property damage across multiple countries. Task Force 141 completed their mission, not because of me, but in spite of me. I was the human equivalent of a weapon jam at the worst possible moment, and I wouldn't have it any other way. If you enjoy watching highly trained special ops teams get dragged down by their most incompetent member, make sure to subscribe. There are always more worlds to save, and I'm always ready to make things significantly more difficult. Let me know in the comments which wrong choice was your favourite. Personally, I'm still proud of that no-scope. That was art.